Forget the pop culture image of a chrome box with a dial. You don't need a magical device to travel through time because you are already doing it at a constant rate of 1 second per second. Let's shatter the illusion that time travel is a fantasy and look at the actual physics. Our modern understanding of time began with Albert Einstein. He realized that time isn't a fixed universal background, but a flexible property of the physical world. This grid represents the space-time continuum. In this model, the 3 dimensions of space we move through, up, down, left, right, are permanently fused with a 4th dimension, time. Just as we use high-performance engines to cover vast distances in physical space, relativistic physics suggests that extreme velocity acts as the mechanism for navigating this 4th dimension. If the laws of physics technically permit movement through time, the barrier isn't a lack of theory, it's a lack of engineering. To build a machine that travels to the future, you don't need exotic matter or secret fuels. You need pure, overwhelming speed. Imagine a spaceship traveling at near light speed to an exoplanet 40 light-years away. When they return, the math reveals a massive discrepancy. For the pilot, 2 years passed. Back home, colleagues aged 80 years. This physical reality is known as time dilation. The faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. Our current technology is nowhere near these speeds. The fastest piloted vehicle ever created, the Apollo 10 module, reached a record 11,000 meters per second. This bar chart compares our speed records to the physics of light. Apollo 10's velocity is a microscopic dot compared to the 299 million meters per second required to trigger significant dilation. Even if we could build the engine, the human body provides its own limit. The acceleration needed to reach those speeds would create centrifugal forces so intense they would rip you apart before you ever reach the goal. A machine for traveling deep into the future is permitted by the universe, but for now, it remains impossible to engineer for human survival. Traveling into the past requires a different blueprint. Einstein's equations also predict wormholes, theoretical tunnels that could act as a shortcut between 2 different eras. This diagram zooms in to the scale where these wormholes would naturally occur. At just 1 billion trillion trillionth of a centimeter across, they are dwarfed even by a single atom. If an engineering miracle allowed us to capture and enlarge one, we would immediately face a logical barrier that might be more rigid than any physical one. It's called the grandfather paradox. Follow this logic loop. Travel back in time and prevent your grandparents from meeting, erasing your own birth. But if never born, you couldn't travel back to interfere. This contradiction breaks the math of reality, creating an infinite loop current physics cannot resolve. These logical contradictions are the primary reason many physicists believe the past is physically inaccessible, leaving the future as our only viable destination. While the blueprints for traveling centuries into the future remain out of reach, a smaller version of this machine is operational right now. It is the International Space Station. Because the station orbits at high speeds, the astronauts on board are subject to a tiny but measurable amount of time dilation. The math is precise. After spending a year on the ISS, an astronaut returns to Earth having aged slightly less than the people on the ground. They are now 13 milliseconds in the future. 13 milliseconds is invisible to the human eye, but it serves as absolute proof that forward time travel is a current achievement. This data from the ISS confirms that time is a measurable, traversable physical dimension. Every person on Earth is currently moving into the future. We are simply waiting for a vehicle that can take us there faster.